What is up, Walking Dead fans? Welcome back to the ZMM Show. We are taking a look at The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 19, with as simple as a title as One More. And you know, what I loved about tonight's episode is the simplistic nature of it when it comes to The Walking Dead and the zombie apocalypse. It got back to really the roots, which again is surviving, searching for food, which can be boring at times, but there was some serious, intense things happening in tonight's episode. And you know, as we're watching Gabriel and Aaron navigate this undead world many years now after the apocalypse, you're seeing it, how it's wearing on Aaron's mind so much. I mean, he wants to be at home, he wants to be with his daughter. I think Gabriel does too, to an extent, but Gabriel is more towards the cause. So again, they're searching for food, supplies, anything they can to help further the community. Obviously, Alexandria has been ravaged a bit by the Whisperers, and so they're trying to rebuild and repopulate. And as they're going through from place to place, I mean, we see some great looking zombies tonight. I mean, I was just loving it. It's been a while since we've just truly seen great zombies, I think, on the show. And they were just looking old and decayed and weathered, and you're just really seeing the time they taking the effects and so forth. So they're checking cars. They have all these locations that's on a map that Maggie made them. It has some really close encounters too, but very smart moves. You know, Gabriel with the timer when he set it out into the field. I mean, these are all things that it was great to see. This is what a veteran survivor would do, right? To draw the walkers away from them and then go in and slaughter them as you will, or just bypass them if you want. We saw that, but we saw a close call with Gabriel falling into that slick mud, which is a total silly move on Gabriel's part, but I guess he just didn't fully see it coming, and he falls straight face planted right in there. Lucky to him, it rained just afterwards and was able to take some of that mud off, although it didn't look like it was actually coming off when the rain was coming down, but that's what happened. And then as they're moving along, you know, Gabriel's telling Aaron, we have one more. And Aaron is he's toasted. You can totally tell. He does not want to do this anymore. He wants to go home and hopefully be safe for a while, you know. And 2 weeks on the road in the apocalypse, Lord knows what that can do to one's mind. And at least the two are getting along. They are great friends, and so that's good too. They have so they find this warehouse. It's not on the map though. So and they decide to get inside of it, and they're looking around for things. And anyways, to pass through it, they find a boar. They end up killing that thing, and they decide to have a good meal. They find some whiskey. They decide to play some poker, get drunk. And as we're seeing and watching this, we're seeing a test of Gabriel's faith, which has been tested for many years now. But Gabriel is now to the point where you kind of wonder where is his real faith when it comes to God and religion. He makes a comment to Aaron, a really dark and serious comment about how evil people are not the exception to the rule. They are the rule, you know, and everybody else is kind of like the exception, the good person. I mean, he's not exactly wrong, right? I mean, I tend to agree with him. I mean, it's a very dark thing to have to finally come to terms with in their world. Aaron doesn't believe that, though, and he doesn't believe that Gabriel believes it either. I wonder. I think Gabriel, he went past a turning point at some point, and I don't know exactly where that was. Probably the Whisperers, more than likely, but I don't think he has faith in people anymore, and we see that later on in the episode. So Aaron decides to wake up in the middle of the night. He's pissed drunk and he has to pee. He goes off. Gabriel wakes up in the morning, super hangover, and Aaron is not there. He's looking for him briefly, and then suddenly this mysterious figure is in the background asking him what they cooked that night and what they were eating. And Gabriel tells him it was a boar, and I'm already getting the feelings. I'm like, oh my God, is this guy living here? Was that his boar? And it was. And it was the amazing actor, Robert Patrick. He played in Terminator 2. He was in X-Files for a while in the later years. I mean, he's been in a ton of stuff. So he played the part of Maze, is his name, which we don't find out to the very end. He's a very cool loner character, and he has a bit of a backstory. And we find out that at one point, I guess him and his twin brother and his twin brother's family, wife and child, were surviving together. And I guess at some point the brother decided to turn on Maze and attacked him with a knife, trying to steal the last of the food. And I guess they were going to leave. And all Maze says is that I handled it. And to prove a point to Gabriel and to Aaron, he wants them to play rush and roulette against each other, just to prove how evil men and women everyone is now, and that Gabriel's right. There is no more faith, and he's testing Gabriel. But Gabriel's trying to play a card play on him. He's trying to talk to him in the moment, like he was talking to Aaron earlier on, saying how, I learned how to talk to people, at funerals, and when he was just doing his ministry duties, or his job, I guess, what he believes in. He would talk to people on their level, and that's exactly what he was doing, and doing it extremely well. maybe too well, in fact. And we have this intense situation. Tell me you guys weren't on edge because, I mean, now if you're thinking, well, they're not going to kill a main character off right here. Yeah, it would have been some shit if they did, though. But the gun gets passed between them, and both Aaron and Gabriel are so selfless that they turn the gun on themselves, and they never point it at each other, totally disproving Maze's little existential theory or whatever, enlightenment, I think he wanted to call it. He wanted to enlighten Gabriel. And so Gabriel finally starts getting onto him another level, and he's just like, it doesn't have to be like this. We've brought people back like you, which is very true. And, finally I'm like, man, I think he's starting to get through this guy. And eventually he does. Maze he takes the gun away. He stops Aaron before the fourth, and that was another thing too, my wife pointed out. So when Aaron chambered it for going back and forth, so 1, 2, and then 1, and then back to Aaron for the fourth bullet in the 6-chamber gun, he said, you hear that? It chambers differently when there's a bullet, loaded in. And so now Aaron knows what's up. Everybody knows what's about to go down, and he's about to pull the trigger. And last second, Maze yells to him to stop. And I mean, I think he was just amazed that he was willing to be so selfless and take the death of killing himself. And anyway, so he's just bewildered by it all. And Gabriel finishes off with a few last promising words and how we can change you can come back. And anyways, he gets his machete and starts undoing them, and he introduces himself as Maze. And just as he does, we see this explosion of blood and a huge thud. And Gabriel takes freaking Aaron's mace, that his hand part that he had disarmed him, and he freaking cracks Maze right in the head, kills him dead right there. I mean, we were all shocked. You could see Aaron's face was shocked. I just was like, wow, Gabriel. I mean, you've completely crossed that line, which, mind you, is what I've always wanted in Gabriel, is to finally understand what he needs to do and do what he needs to do. But man, watching it almost made me feel a bit different. I was almost like, oh damn, I was hoping maybe Gabriel was speaking truths, maybe he was a little more pious. But then I was thinking about it too. I'm like, this man just played these two, made him play Russian roulette. We found out that he supposedly maybe killed his brother. He never said he killed him. He just said he handled it. But all these facts or whatever, would you want this guy coming back to your community? Hanging out with your wife, your kids, your neighbors? I mean, probably not. So, I mean, it's not that Gabriel did the wrong thing. I think it was just kind of like, just like Aaron and just like I was just like, oh my gosh. I mean, you totally lied the shit out to that dude, and totally made him believe you, and then just straight up killed him. It was rough, but a smart move more than likely. They come to this idea that, well, wait a minute, if he was in here and he heard everything we were saying, where was he hanging out? So it looks like there was maybe another floor hidden or something like that on the upstairs part, and they get up there and they find a person in the back being held, all bearded up, and looks like they've been living there a long time, and it's Maze's twin brother. He didn't kill him, but I guess he locked him up and made him watch maybe his family die, maybe starve to death. I don't know. So there was some sick stuff going on up there. So again, probably the best move that Gabriel did was taking him out. Because, I mean, that would have been awkward as hell if we found out after the fact, like, oh, hey, by the way, this is my brother upstairs. I've been keeping him alive for the last, 2 or 3 years, and I killed off his family, made him starve to death. So, they're about to release him, and stupidly, Gabriel with the gun on hip, it allows for the twin brother to grab it, and he pulls it on Gabriel, and they have this standoff, and in the last minute, as they're trying to talk him down and say, we'll help you, we'll get you free. And I think he says something like free, or he whispers it, and then he turns the gun on himself. I mean, this was one dark-ass episode, guys. But I loved it because it's just the true essence of The Walking Dead. And again, The Walking Dead, not really so much the zombies, but the people themselves. And this just plays straight to it. Now, if you're wondering, well, why are we doing just another little food search? Why such a few actors in the episode like they did in the past? I did read that it was a lot about COVID. I mean, really, they were trying to get some cool episodes out to us without having a ton of cast members into contact with one another. So, to be honest, I enjoyed it. Thought it was really solid. I give this episode around 8.85 easy. I just think it was really solid, and it had some intense moments, and it also showed that friendship and bonding between Gabriel and Aaron both. So the only thing I wanted to mention too was at the very end of the episode, because I was wondering myself, what is this going to do for Aaron and Gabriel's relationship? Because I think Aaron was starting to kind of believe in a lot of what Gabriel was saying, and thinking he should get back into ministering and talking again to people. And Gabriel's like, I don't think I could or whatever. But, and especially after what he just saw, and especially killing Maze like he did and lying to him like that, I mean, I don't know if it's going to put a big press on their relationship, but as we see them heading in, there's a water tower in the distance. It was on one of the map before it got destroyed by the mud when Gabriel fell in from that zombie. And so, you know, they look. Even Gabriel looks to Aaron. He says, you know, what do you want to do? And then Aaron looks back and says, one more. Let's do it, pretty much. And which was good to see that Aaron was back to committed to the cause of doing what they needed to do, because they did find a few supplies, I guess, at Maze's little warehouse facility. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this comes back in conversation, and if it puts a kind of a little bit of a squash on their friendship in some ways. I hope you enjoyed this quick little review on it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Make sure to leave a comment if you are enjoying these episodes as we're into this back little extra section of Season 10 as we get riled up for Season 11. And it looks like on the next episode, we're going to get back to the Commonwealth. It's going to show, I guess, what happened to Princess and all the, Ezekiel, and I guess there's, oh God, well, there's a few more of them out there anyways. So we're going to see what's going on with that, and Eugene, what happened to his mystery girl? I mean, is she part of the Commonwealth? Did she lure him there, you know, out of false hopes? We need to find out. We need to know what's going on. So make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more of this, because I come out every Sunday. Come out on Wednesdays. My buddy Adam and I do movie reviews. We're going to do Boss Level this Wednesday. It's this cool movie, sci-fi action with Frank Grillo, I think it's like that. But anyways, he's a good actor. He's been in a bunch of movies. He was in a few of the Purge movies, and anyways, solid actor. So make sure to come out, check it out, and I will catch you guys at the next review. See you guys.